What is going on, everybody? Happy Friday to you all, and welcome to another live beer review. Today we're going to be looking at another one from, I guess you consider these guys one of my favorite breweries when it comes to sours, just really having just a really creative mindset when it comes to making beer as well. Because they do sours, they do IPAs, they do stouts, and they do a really good job no matter what kind of brand of beer they do. So today we're going to be taking a look at another fruited sour from them today, and I've had a couple of them within this kind of category, like from the Jammy Pants and all that kind of, if you recognize that. But today we got this double berry shake from Great Notion Brewing this afternoon. And I'm pretty excited. I'm always a big fan of their stuff when it comes to all the sours they make. They really like to play around with locally grown berries around their area and kind of create some nice shake and kind of heavier, smoother mouthfeel at times kind of beers, along with kind of sticking to that kind of kettle sour kind of realm as well. So if you haven't heard me talk about Great Notion before, they make some fantastic stuff over there, and I'm just really excited for this one. I believe this one comes in at a 9% ABV, I believe. Let's see. Where is it? I'll move you over here. I believe it's 9%. Yeah, 9% ABV. And you guys would be very surprised on the type of berry they used in this one. I haven't really heard of it before, but I kind of did a little bit of research and found out what it was. So before we do that, let's crack this guy open. And before we talk about the description and all that kind of stuff, let's crack this guy open and see what we get on the smell, because I'm excited for it and I'm thirsty. So let's crack this guy open. I'm expecting some nice kind of tart berry notes, maybe with them saying there's like a shake kind of name in the name. Maybe some nice creaminess to it. Oh yeah, right off the bat, getting very, very tart berries. Oh, yeah, that's just, wow. Kind of has like almost a blackberry kind of smell. But that's definitely a unique berry that I don't think I've ever smelled before. You can kind of distinguish between the smell of blackberries, raspberries, and all that kind of stuff. This one is a very, very unique smelling one. There's a freaking dog hair in the opening. Don't mind it. Yeah, that's very, very unique. That's definitely a berry note, a tart berry, but it's not one that I've smelled before. So I'm excited. So, gonna be drinking out of my deciduous little sour glass, and let's see how this guy pours. Oh yeah, it's that nice kind of deep red color to it. A little bit of like a light pinkish kind of head, very, very light pinkish, almost white head. But look at that. That has a beautiful color to it. Really, really has like a deep, dark, almost purplish red kind of color. Still getting a lot of those like very, very tart, bright, vibrant berry flavors coming out on the nose. I'm excited for this. So without further ado, let's give this guy a try. So cheers, everybody. Happy Friday. Whoa. That one caught me for a loop. Okay. Wow. There's so many different flavors hitting you at once to where you kind of get confused with it for a little bit. So, if I didn't tell you guys before, this one is actually brewed with a kind of a blackberry called a Marionberry, which it's kind of like a strain of a blackberry. It's only, I believe it's grown in Oregon. I believe one of the colleges out there actually like made it themselves, because it's like definitely has more different like kind of brighter notes than a blackberry itself. And so what they did with this one is they saturated with it with Oregon Marionberries and finished it with vanilla. So that exactly what I'm getting. I'm getting like a tart berry getting hit with like a nice vanilla kind of milkshakiness. It's weird. So it's like you're not just getting the tart berry at first and then kind of getting that milkshakey kind of creaminess with the vanilla at the end. You're getting it at the exact same time with each other. You're getting the tart and the sweet at the same time. It's mingling really well. And it's just, wow, this is pretty damn delicious. I was not expecting that. Because normally when you have a fruited sour that has like a milkshakiness along with like a tart berry, you expect it to be tart up front and then kind of get mellowed down a little bit and get sweet at the end. But it's like the berry and a vanilla like milkshake is just getting smashed together in your mouth, and it has a nice creamy mouthfeel. It's a very, very nice sweetness that mixes really well with all the kind of like the berry tartness and like the vanilla sweetness just work very, very well together. It's always a good combo. Always a really good combo. And knowing that they came out with this one, I was curious because when it said double berry, I was thinking they were doing two different kinds of berries along with their kind of doing their jammy pants kind of recipe as well. But that wasn't the case. They have one kind of berry, a lot of vanilla, no lactose in this whatsoever. So I'm surprised it's as creamy as it was. So I'm thinking they most likely added a good amount of vanilla to it for it to be this good. But yeah, it's not really boozy. It's kind of has a nice kind of berry punch to it along with that vanilla sweetness. And it's really, really well balanced. Absolutely fantastic. So let's look here on Untappd. And if you can't get your hands on anything from Great Notion, there's a couple different options for stuff that has the kind of same style as beers that Great Notion does. So let's see. We got one from Kushwa Brewing. Let's see. This one's called the Western Maryland Vacation Package, which I want to consider similar to this one. So if you can't get your hand on anything from Great Notion, Untappd shows similar beers to their stuff. So when it comes to like each beer, they have a list of like 5 similar beers that may be in the same realm as the one from Great Notion. There's only one really I can see right here that would probably fit the market because the other ones don't really have any. They're fruited sours, but they don't really have any berries to it, which it kind of defeats the purpose of trying to get a beer that's similar to this one when you're not getting a fruited sour that has any berries in it whatsoever. So I picked the only one on the list that has berries in it. And that is this one from Junkyard Brewing Company. You've heard me review a lot of their stuff before. They do a lot of fruited sours, but this one's called Losing Clarity, Gaining Substance, which is a 5.6% ABV fruited sour. And it's like they use blackberries and raspberries, so I'm thinking that's probably going to be the closest thing to this one when it comes to stuff that you may be able to find that's similar. I'm not sure if it's going to have that kind of vanilla kind of punch that it brings with the berries. But that may give you a kind of like a little bit of an area of what you'd be experiencing with this one. So if you can get your hands on anything from Junkyard, I always can recommend them because they have some pretty awesome stuff. Of course, I believe you can get a lot of Great Notion over in Plymouth, like Massachusetts around there. I know, of course, Oregon and the West Coast when it comes to like going down to California. I know they're available down there. So you may be able to get your hands on some stuff from Great Notion. They distribute all over the country, so I don't think it's going to be that difficult of a thing to get a hold of. So, looking here on Untappd, hold on, let me take another swig. Yeah, it's delicious. Looking here on Untappd, there's definitely like you could get the sourness to it because you feel it under your eyes start to squint, you feel it in your jawline with like the kind of salivating. But looking here on Untappd, with over 5,057 ratings, this one has an average rating of 4.36 out of 5. Which is, yeah, that's a fantastic rating. Fantastic average. And I'm looking at some of these like people checking in and giving kind of like a small review of it, and most of them are going between the 4.25 and 4.5. And I can definitely see why. But before I look at the global ratings, I always like looking at anybody on my friends list who did it. There's only one person who's drank this on my friends list, and he didn't even give it a rating. He just checked it in, but that's fine. So going in on the global ratings, and let's see what people said. So one person gave it a 4.25, saying tart berry smoothie meets vanilla milkshake to make an amazing marriage between flavors. I definitely agree. This person gave it a 4.5. Let's see, another 4.25. But he said a lot of these guys purchased this at Beer Zombies Warm Springs, which is looks like it's in Las Vegas. So if you're anywhere in the Vegas area, you might be able to get your hands on this one at Beer Zombies. Yeah, there's a bunch of check-ins from Beer Zombies. Holy crap! This guy picked it up on tour like I did. Gave it a 4.25. Let's see. This person gave it a 4.5. Let's see, another 4.25. He said there's not a ton of fruit coming out of it, which I'm thinking maybe he's talking about sediment. I don't think he's talking about like fruit flavor, because if you're not getting the fruity flavor out of this, your mouth must be broken because you're getting slapped in the face with tart berries and vanilla. But let's see, another 4.5. Let's see what else we got. We got another 4.5. Say can't find a date on the can, but I know it's sold. Still kicking well. Maybe not a 4.5, but over 4. Okay. So he probably gave it like maybe I would say close to like a 4.25, maybe like a 4.3 on his scale, but Untapped only lets you go into like 0.25 increments, but that's okay. Let's see, we got another 4.25. This person gave it a 4.75 out of 5, so this person's really liking it. So another 4.75 purchased at the Bottle Rocket Beer Reserve, which is a beer bar in Buffalo, New York. So if you're over in Buffalo or around that area, you may be able to get your hands on some of this Double Berry Shake from Great Notion. But other than that, yeah, ratings seem absolutely fantastic on this one. So let's start trying to figure out what we're going to do for ratings on this. Of course, we look at can art first. Great Notion always has that kind of same kind of style. You can recognize their can art from a mile away. So they have this very, very distinguished like lumberjack, outdoorsy kind of thing where it's either there's a guy with a beard wearing like a hat with the fluff on the top. I'm not saying it the Canadian way, and he either has like jam or berries in his overalls. They have some ones where there's like a bunch of animals on it. Some has that. It's a very unique like drawing kind of theme on their can art, which I always enjoy. The colors are very vibrant. Has a lot of colors that pop out at you. Has almost as like a book and a story that you're looking at, and kind of something that you would read to your kid, like kind of like almost like a picture book. The place in Buffalo, Dutchess, is called Bottle Rocket Beer Reserve. That's where it is in Buffalo. But let's see. For can art, knowing that this is the usual stuff that Great Notion does, I'm always a fan of it, even because even like a lot of the details, they do change depending on the style of beer it is. So when it's the Double Berry Shake, they usually had, or like any kind of the ones where the guy has the berries in his overalls, they change up the berry depending on the version. So I like the detail in that. So I'd probably give this an easy 4.75 out of 5. I always like stuff that Great Notion does. And if you want to kind of get your hands on stuff from Great Notion, they do have an app that's available on Android and iPhone too. I believe is you just type in Great Notion, it'll be one of the first things that pops up on either the Apple Store or the Google Play kind of situation. And it's kind of like its own version of Untapped. It's weird. You get to order beer from there. If you can get it shipped to you, they have like a way where you could check in beers. That's where their merch store is. You can kind of get different ranks depending on how many beers you check it from them, and you get like different characters you kind of like rank up as. It's interesting. It's very, very interesting, and it's kind of very interactive, which I do appreciate, because a brewery kind of creating that interactive point of things when it comes to reaching out to their fan base and kind of making something a little bit fun, yeah, I think is a really cool thing. So let's see, if I got this beer in a flight at Great Notion, would I get another one? To be honest, absolutely. I'm a really big fan of like the berry vanilla mingling with each other. You get slapped in the face with both of them. You don't expect it. It's bright, it's vibrant, it's creamy. And having that much of a creaminess without adding lactose, I think is a great accomplishment to put in there, because lactose always accounts for a good amount of creaminess in a beer. But knowing that there's no lactose in it, I think is a absolutely fantastic way to show that this brewery knows what the hell they're doing. So that's awesome, Dutchess. So if you get your hands over yourself over there and possibly get some Great Notion stuff from there, that's going to be a nice opportunity for you. Maybe you can pick some stuff up for Logan so he can try some of their stuff. But let's see. If I got this in a flight, would I get another one? Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't know if I freaking said that already. But yeah, it's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Really, really love this one. So with my final rating, it's going to be a tough one. I'm going to probably give this one a very, very solid 8.75 out of 10. Almost a 9. Really, really close to a 9. I don't know if I don't really think I've given anything from Great Notion like that high of a rating. I love the berry and vanilla. I think it mingles really well. I like the creaminess. I would have maybe liked to see lactose in there. I would love to see what they would have done to kind of add that extra creamy note to it, to kind of make it almost have that smoothie mouthfeel. It's close to having that kind of mouthfeel, but it's not quite at that point. But I still think they did a fantastic job, so that's where I'm going to leave it, 8.75 out of 5. Really, really fantastic. If you can get your hands on this double berry shake from Great Notion, you will not be disappointed one bit. I think it's absolutely delicious. And having a beer with a different kind of berry than I'm used to drinking is always really cool as well. I can kind of mark that off my list of different kind of berries that I've had in beer before, so that's a really cool thing. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, that is pretty much it. So thank you everybody in chat for hanging out. You guys are awesome. If you haven't already, please hit that like button. It would help me out a lot. Also, if you're new to the channel and you like what you see, make sure you hit that subscribe button along with that notification bell. It'll let you know whenever I go live doing the review. I have reviews planned for the rest of the weekend, and then won't be one Monday because I'll be brewing, but then I believe I'll be off for the rest of the week next week, so you can expect like a whole action-packed, review-driven kind of week of drinking beers and having a good time and all that kind of stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. But other than that, yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said before, if you want to get your hands on anything from Great Notion, you can always check your local liquor store or bottle shop. They're pretty well distributed throughout the country. You can download the app and see if you could possibly purchase beer off there. Or I can recommend you going over to Tavour. It's a great kind of platform. It does a beer subscriptions / beer delivery service. And it's just a really fun time. You might have to see if you can get stuff delivered to you from them, but I know their availability is kind of opening up with how they can get stuff shipped around. So you just got to download the app, and when you create your account and put in your zip code, they'll let you know right away if you can get stuff shipped to you. So last but not least, if you want to see like a social media aspect of beer drinking, always going to recommend getting yourself on Untapped. It's a great platform. I talk about it almost every day. I love that. I love that app. I'm on it at least every day. You can check in beers, get badges, all that kind of stuff. They have a merch store. They have pretty much just all kinds of stuff on there. It's just a really, really fun time. So if you want to shoot me a friend request on Untapped, the link to my profile is down in the description below for you guys. Shoot me a friend request. I would love to see what you guys are drinking. And yeah, that's pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to end it like I always end it. We're going to get the hell out of here. If you're going to drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive. And I will see y'all next time. Cheers.